Hey guys, it's Childish, or welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we're going to once again recognize the 1.5 year anniversary for Soul Strike, and they'll go ahead and take a look at my current account. So for those that don't know, I came into the game about 6 months late, so I've literally hit the year mark. In addition to hitting the year mark, I spent $1,200 to essentially accelerate my progression and kind of basically catch up to the people that have been playing this game for 18 months here. But that being said, though, before we get into it, though, I do have an important announcement to make, so stay tuned, and we'll be right back. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, I have an important announcement to make. One of the greatest legendary fighting games of all time, Tekken 8, is going to be coming to Summoner's War. Now, in this collaboration, you're going to be able to summon 5 characters from the legendary fighting game, and you'll even hear voice lines from the original Tekken source. The characters look fantastic, and the animations really do feel like you were playing the original Tekken game. In this collaboration, they're going to be bringing you a limited time dungeon where you're going to be able to get tons of amazing rewards to include some additional Tekken scrolls. And if that wasn't enough, every single summoner that participates during the event is going to be able to get a Heihachi for free for a limited time. So there you have it, fam. Tekken 8 is coming to Summoner's War, and I could not be more excited for you guys to check it out. What are you waiting for? Go ahead and download Summoner's War right now for free and check out the limited edition collaboration right now. All right, fam, so we're going to break this down from every single section just so you guys can see what we got going on here. So first and foremost, let's go ahead and start with the main character so you guys can kind of see with regards to the stats here. Now, I'm not sure when it comes to, 18 months and whatnot, where you should be at when it comes to 12 or when it comes to 12 months as well, but this is kind of where we're sitting at with regards to our stats here. We'll show this right here, right? We got the attack at 2.6. We got the health here at the 81.2, and then of course the defense here at 4.0 C. Now, as far as our current kind of stats that I've been kind of focusing on, obviously there was a really big focus on, taking advantage of that critical rate and of course the move speed. Of course, when it comes to some of our skills that we have set later on down the road, you'll notice that our critical rate will play or will roll over into our stats. That's why we kind of have a whole lot more stats here. As far as my move speed goes, this is kind of where we're at right now, a little over 26,000. Obviously, we have a little bit of a bonus once we have, various skills or allies casting their abilities here. But overall, this is kind of where I'm looking at, and this is kind of what we've been working on. In addition to that, we're sitting at 51% skill cooldown. I believe the cap was at 40%. I might be wrong. Feel free to correct me in the chat if I'm wrong. But ultimately, those are some of the biggest things we work on: move speed, skill cooldown, critical rate, critical damage. Just some overall basic stats to improve our overall damage, and of course be able to cast those skills as fast as possible. So yeah, that's kind of where we're at when it comes to those stats here. When it comes to our classes and what we've been working on here, of course, as you guys already know, we already have all the main skills. Everyone kind of gets this, I feel like, within about 4 to 6 months. But these last few here, the triple S skills, right, we are sitting here with a couple of them at level 2, the Sword Master and I believe the Sage respectively. We just got the gun one, the generic one, and then the killer one we've had for a little bit. We actually got this one, I believe, in a skill, or like in a inventory kind of box to open. So was very happy about that because I got to choose that one. But the other ones here took a very, very long time. I would say between the 7 to 8 month mark, we were getting each of these like once every 45 to 60 days. So they definitely take some time to get. If you guys are one of those people out there that are coming relatively new to the game and you haven't been super fortunate to get something like that, then don't sweat it. It will be coming down the road. Now, next one up, we got the attributes for our character. Okay, overall, pretty basic when it comes to year-long account, right? We got the main 5 all set up here, and we're working our way to try to get this next Corellia stat here. And of course, this is something that dropped, I think it was about 3 to 4 months ago. Now, the big thing of it is this level 13 Stealer records in the shelter. And as you guys know, when it comes to progression, when it comes to trying to improve all the stuff that you need to improve when it comes to your shelter and being able to upgrade stuff here, the amount of time spent being able to farm day in and day out, farming, whether you're live or where you're autoing, AFK, the resources that it takes cost a lot. Not only does it take a lot to get those resources, you have to upgrade those resources, which is going to take some time as well. So yeah, this has been kind of a grind trying to get this one up here. So yeah, but we're working our way up here. Okay. Next one up, the Constellation. Again, this is obviously a working progress here, work in progress. Stats overall are not really where I want it to be. I'm kind of happy with my Leo, I'm kind of happy with my Pisces. Sagittarius could use a little bit of improvement on the final damage, but because of this stacked out defense, I haven't invested too much here. Naturally, now take a look at this right now. I definitely have the resources to go ahead and get this done and level this up when it comes to this one, but I haven't worked on it for the time being because I've been just trying to work on different stuff here. But overall, we got the main constellations all set and ready to go, and we're going to be looking to improve these so that we can have a little bit better stats, obviously. So Slate has been something that's been taking a long time to do, and for those that don't know, Slate is something that we're going to be getting when we max out our various skills, allies, relates to pets. I believe when we get to level 10, the resources that we get when we summon will carry on over to the Slate of skill to give us those permanent stats here, and when we get them, we'll be able to go ahead and level them up. And as you guys can see, after about a year or so, I'm not really super far in it, so I'm gonna be working quite a bit to get that going. As far as the training goes, I have a lot of my stuff that's already maxed out, already kind of closed out here. But ultimately, most of the stuff that require the regular silver currencies kind of maxed out. The dimension energy and the purification energy is still, still a ways to go here. But, we're actively working on it. We've been farming in the unified world here, trying to get a little bit more resources. So we're getting there. I think we're going to be, closer to not to being able to max out the majority of the main ones here. I'm looking at the final damage, the skill damage. I'm looking at the efficacy boost here. I'm looking at the default skill damage here. I'm looking at some of those that are really going to amplify my DPS. So I'm looking to get that done as well. As far as my current form goes, again, as you guys might have guessed when it comes to a year-long account, we have the majority of the skills, with the majority of them anywhere from A3 to A5. There's a handful of skills that are currently A6 to A8, very small amount that are actually A8, but ultimately, I want to say the majority of them are at A3 to A5. And one thing that I want to kind of put out for the up and coming players out there is that even though there's obviously quite a ways to go when it comes to some of those skills, keep in mind that your resources are going to be limited. So you got to utilize them as best as possible. Whether we're talking about just regular summons that we get to summon for something specific, or things like select tickets or whatnot to go and use. While it may seem, definitely like an optimal thing to do by just maxing out one specific skill, keep in mind that the resources that you may need or the select tickets that you may have might be better off used to get specific skills to A3, because there's certain abilities that when they're maxed out to A3 really provide an added bonus that really will accelerate your progression. So kind of keep that in mind, because I'm seeing a kind of trend where Comptos is really trying to motivate people to get some of these really unique skills and abilities that are really strong and specific type of builds. They're trying to motivate you to get it to at least A3, and then of course, if you're really into that build, you want to go ahead and maximize it. You definitely want to get some of those to A8. Same things goes for the allies. Allies, we're a little bit lower. I want to say we're anywhere from like A2 to A4, with a couple of them being A5 and A6. You're not going to see all too much here. Like I said, if I got super lucky on some, pickup summon or something like that, maybe it's at A5 or A6, but ultimately a lot of them are going to be in that 2 to 4 range here. Again, the goal is to try to get them as high as possible, because the higher you get them, the higher you can level them up, the better stats to have, and of course, the evolution that, really can make or break a unit here. So for those of you guys that are, again, anywhere from a year to, 18 months in here, if you are not at this level, don't sweat it, because it definitely takes some time here. Actively farming, actively getting the resources, actively doing the events to get the, free summons and whatnot here, so you can go ahead and, make some adjustments here. Relics, same thing. The majority of them are anywhere from level 80 to level 100. You'll see a lot of these lower ones here, though, are not too high, and that's simply for the fact that this particular resource, the Ancient Legacy, is something kind of unique to the game. You have to utilize it not only for summoning, but of course for leveling it up. And this kind of, hurts you in a sense that you're not able to go ahead and level things up as fast as possible. But I'm okay with that. I feel like you don't have to, cap out as soon as possible. I feel like just having the relic is going to be super, super important. Obviously, the higher the level, the more stats you get, depending on what it is and what levels up when you, or what, improves when you level it up. But outside of that, like, those relics are looking pretty good. I'm happy with the setup right now, and hopefully we'll be able to get some of these new relics that are coming out and level them up as well. So next one up is going to be my pets. Once again, you're seeing my pets range all over the board here. And I think this is just kind of one of those things where, once I found like one or two pets, I basically started capping them off, because if you guys haven't figured it out right now, yeah, another kind of just, beginner tip or whatnot, when you get the opportunity to utilize pets, especially when you get the opportunity to utilize the attribute that provides additional bonuses for the pets, or even having double pets here, having the double up bonus, you'll realize really how much of a progression you'll be able to obtain by having two pets and, taking advantage of the damage that can be had when you set up your team effectively. So as you can imagine, because of the fact that I realized how strong this one is, I invested heavily into my pets. And, we definitely worked on some of them, and some of them were, worked on and kind of pushed it aside. Stallion was one of those that was in the main, but then we had Flurf, and we had Fire Killing come out, and so those have kind of been a little bit more important because they're yielding more damage versus some of the other older ones that I used to do. Outside of that, when it comes to our stats, this kind of where we're at here. When it comes to our gear, we are decked out in the ultimate gear, as you might have guessed. I think it was about, like I said, the 6 to 8 month mark that we started to obtain the ultimate gear, but I would say it took me an additional 3 to 6 months to get mostly mythical jewels on everything that I need. Now, the unfortunate thing of it is that it's fortunate but unfortunate. But the unfortunate thing of it is that the mythical jewels that I obtain have allowed me to obviously not only put specific enchantments on these gears, but also provide different synergies that allowed me to, essentially, get the kind of stats that I'm looking for. Again, I'm sure you guys are familiar with the Fervent build, utilizing the movement speed to gain some additional damage. It was a really nice improvement getting the mythical jewel, but I realized that if I really want to capitalize on a lot of these, cool synergies that I got out there and really take the account to the next level, I'm going to have to take this up here. I'm going to have to improve these particular, jewels and get them to that next level, which is gonna it's gonna take some time. But ultimately, for a person that has their account for about a year, I think I'm in a pretty good place right now. So now, as I currently push up into the Conquer 9,000s or 8,500 to 9,000, that's going to be something I'm going to be focused on, trying to improve some of these gems, leveling them up or whatnot as I have the resources to do so, and then seeing if I can start getting my first big boy jewels, okay, so I can get myself 3 synergies versus 1 here. Outside of that, I think that was pretty much it for the overall stats here. One thing to kind of point out, again, you're probably wondering why in the world do I still have some select things. It's because I'm essentially waiting for the right skills that I can go in and ramp up, level it up, and get the stats that I want to. Again, one of the things to kind of mention is that when it comes to leveling up specific skills, certain things need to be at, A3 or whatnot, but if you can't make the necessary improvement to get it to A8, maybe there's not like a specific selective summon to get going here. I basically kind of, hold on to it until I get that opportunity to do it. As you guys have seen by now, we have now different skill custom pickups, ally custom pickups. So there's opportunities for you to really level up specific skills and abilities if you're looking for that. But until some of those opportunities come, I'm kind of holding on to my select tickets, because ultimately, as a free-to-play player or a person that spends a little bit of money, once you get the skill, that's going to be the main part, and then the next part you want to do is get the A3. Once you get the A3, you're going to be sitting good for now. And there's going to be quite a bit of time until you get that A8. Now you're probably wondering, like, well, you spent $1,200 over that last year. What in the world did you spend it on? Now, I know it seems like a lot when you think about it. When it comes to year and actively purchasing various packs that may come out throughout the game, I'd say, like I said, it's $1,200 over 12 months. On average, it might have been about $100, $100 a month. But ultimately, I want to say, like, some of the things that kind of crept up that I really was not thinking would happen was probably the relay. I think the relay, without question, let me take a step back. The best thing to get is the ad package, $10 to not have to deal with any ads. That's without question the best thing to do. But the relays, basically having the opportunity to get various, star souls and dimensional crystals. As you guys know, equipment is absolutely imperative to have. You need the best equipment. You need the best enchants. So having the opportunity to re-roll constantly was very important to this one. So having this opportunity to spend whatever it is, $10 a week or whatnot, is great. But as you can imagine, if the relay set per week, you're doing $10 a week, that's $40 a week or $40 a month, that can add up real quick. In addition to that, any other things that came up were essentially one-offs, specific packs that you can obtain to provide like a nice little boost here. I'm trying to see if I can find one that kind of reminds me of what I'm talking about. I would say any kind of like specific collab one where they had a really good value. There was generally anywhere from like $10 to $30 with the packs there. Every once in a while, I would get in a situation to where I just got a little frustrated or whatnot, and I wanted to progress my account. So I would, get myself various building things, building material, because that stuff takes, really long time to do. In addition to that initial ultimate parts packages, you can't see it now because I don't have it available, but that initial ultimate parts, trying to get those first few pieces of ultimate gear and having that big jump, big boost in stats was really important. And the game, if you haven't seen it by now, if you look at it as your free-to-play player, you'll notice that they have a couple of packs that, if you spend like $8 or $9, you'll get yourself almost enough resources to get like 2 pieces of ultimate gear. It's pretty crazy. So I picked up those for sure. And then, like I said, outside of those random one-offs plus the $40 in relays that I would pick up on a regular basis, there would be anywhere from $30 to $50 worth of random packages that I would pick up over time. Nothing super like super I don't say unworth it. Like all the packs had, maybe we could argue the amount of value, right? But ultimately, the packs that I chose were packs that I felt that were of good value. And like I said, the goal was to accelerate progression and try to get caught up with the people that have been playing for 18 months, because I didn't want to be behind 6 months here. So, but yeah, guys, that is pretty much it for the video. I just wanted to do a quick rundown on my current account. Once again, the game is celebrating their 1.5 anniversary, but ChildishPlays, have only been playing for a year now. So if you're one of those people out there that have really pushed your account super hard and you can see kind of where I'm at compared to where you're at, whether you're a free-to-play player, pay-to-win player, or whatnot, and you're progressing a lot faster than that, congratulations, okay? Because that is really good. And if you're not to that point, don't sweat it, because like I said before, we spent $1,200 over the last year or so trying to accelerate progression. And even then, with regards to progression, there was some times where I wasn't as active as I have been in the past. So, and there was some times where I was even more active than I wasn't. So just kind of playing this on the fly, and, down the road, I'm, again, hoping to keep on playing and enjoying the game, and hoping to get to my next milestone, which I think is going to be 10,000 Conquer, which I think is a really good milestone for somebody at my level. So, but yeah, guys, that's going to be it for the video. You have any questions about my account, or have any, curious about like my current build or what I do and whatnot, or why I use things a certain way, feel free to leave a comment in the comment section down below, or hit me up on Discord. There's going to be a link in the description down below. Okay. Thanks again for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, and we'll see you guys all in the next one. Take care.